my name is Paul. On October 12, 2024, my two sons and I set out for a trek in Nepal to the 18,519-foot summit of Patthar near Mount Everest. The trek was a fundraiser to support my foundation PACH and its hospital for the poor in Riobamba, Ecuador. The trek was a huge success, but it was a miracle that it ever happened at all. This is the story of that trek. After 2 long flights, we arrived in Kathmandu and our usual hotel, the Kailash Kuti. Later, we walked to the Tamil House for a bronze plate welcome dinner with our host Anish Sharma. It included a delightful performance of Nepali music and dance. In Nepal, the monsoon season begins in June and on average ends on September 23rd. This year, likely due to climate change, the monsoon devastated Nepal, killing hundreds and destroying highways, villages, and homes. Summer monsoon is caused by very hot and humid air rising from India and moving northward toward the Himalayas, which act as a wall holding cooler air on the China side. The hot, humid vapor meets the cooler air, condenses, and rains down constantly on Nepal until it stops in September. To trek near Everest, you have to travel from Kathmandu to a tiny airport in the village of Lukla at 8,500 feet. Due to the large volume of trekkers, the airport in Kathmandu cannot handle the traffic, and you have to drive 4 hours on the BP highway to a tiny airport in Mantali. From there, you fly to Lukla, the gateway to the Everest region. It was during this phase that our troubles began. As we said, in mid-September the monsoon pummeled Nepal. The BP highway was largely destroyed and unpassable. Thousands of visitors like us had no idea of the extent of the devastation or how it would affect their lives in the next few days. As we were about to leave for our journey, using a different, longer route, our agent received notice that the BP highway was now passable, and we quickly left for Mantali. To say that the BP highway was passable was a huge overstatement. The drive took 8 grueling hours, and we saw the devastation up close. To make matters worse, hundreds of thousands of Nepalis were returning from a Christmas-like holiday where everyone journeys to the countryside to visit family. The volume of traffic was shocking, with cars, vans, and trucks jammed with families and thousands of motorcycles, sometimes with families of 2 adults and 2 children on one motorcycle. We arrived in Mantali late in the day, but soon learned that scores of trekkers were stranded there due to unusually bad weather up in Lukla. Things were now getting worse. We awoke the next day to find that again no flights were departing for Lukla. I realized that with hundreds of trekkers ahead of us, we had no chance of getting on a plane that day or the next. Our only chance to get to Lukla was by helicopter. I contacted our agent Anish and asked him to arrange a chopper for us. He later confirmed that we would leave the next morning. We didn't know then that, sadly, many of these visitors would never make it up into the Himalayas. Great day. A lot going on, a lot of excitement. Late the next morning, a few flights finally got out, and our hopes grew. But the flights soon stopped, and we waited all day amid the chaos. By late afternoon, we were certain that all was lost when suddenly, thanks to incredible persistence from Anish and Jeet, we were called to board what was to be the last helicopter flight of the day. We took off, but as we climbed higher and higher toward Lukla, the clouds closed in and the light faded. The pilot announced that he could not reach Lukla and he would have to put us down. We landed just before dark near a monastery near Shurke, 3 hours hike from Lukla. And so our adventure finally began, with 5 hours of hiking in the dark, in a light rain, up 2,000 feet to the village of Phak Ding. Like caged animals set free, we could have hiked all night. We learned later that Lukla remained closed for days after, and that thousands of trekkers were forced to cancel their plans in Nepal. How fortunate we were. That we were now on our way was only the first of several miracles on our trek.
मायालु तिमी सँगै सँगै हिँड्न मन लाग्छ त के गरौँ
Soon, the famous Hillary Bridge came into view.
Almost there.
Jade, stop laughing. He thinks it's fun.
In the morning. Your first time.
You are too much, I tell you. Oh. And we're still not done.
Yeah, we are. Almost.
Almost there.
It's almost.
Toph, I think it evens right out up there, though, right?
50 steps.
All right, you guys. Nice work, everybody.
मायालु तिमी सँगै सँगै हिँड्न मन लाग्छ त के गरौँ तिम्रो बाटो
We are on our way to the Everest Hotel on a acclimatization day, rest day, and as you can see, it's pretty much clouds. That's it for now.
Later, we visited a new art gallery dedicated to ecological awareness. All of the art was made from trash left by climbers on Mount Everest. And finally, we returned to Namche for some actual rest. At dinner, we often reviewed our route on our map. Amazingly, our trek encompassed this entire map from top to bottom.
मायालु तिमी सँगै सँगै हेर्न मन लाग्छ त के गरौँ तिम्रै बाटो बाटो लाग्दा आँखा पनि लजालु.
We woke on October 19th to sunny skies for the first time, and it was to stay clear for the remainder of our trek. The views were incredible, and we were reminded of the beauty of the Himalayas. We got a look back at how far we had come and how far we still had to go. Our work today would involve descending all the way down to the river and then up this mountain to Tengboche. Pretty good day, Mikey?
Great day. Couldn't be better.
Toph leading the way. I love the spot here because you can see all the way down in the valley, and way down at the bottom you can see the Hillary Bridge. Now let's keep on going. Let's see what we got coming up here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Ooh. Ooh, that was close. That was close. In the belly, it is 10 o'clock, there is no point. A lot of traffic here. A lot of truckers, a lot of yaks. Hey Mikey, don't get run over. ended our long day with a visit to the famous Tengboche Monastery. And settled into our tea house for dinner and a good night's sleep. The trek to Tengboche, while not as physically challenging as others, is unique and beautiful in its contrasts. It begins descending into a lush protected valley of rhododendron forest. It then climbs gradually over 2,000 feet, crossing the tree line, and ends in a barren world of rock, wind, and cold in the shadows of the world's highest mountains.
Oh, what a beautiful day it turned out to be. Woo! Did we luck out or what? Look at that.
Oh, pretty good. Oh, way more tiring.
There we are. Nice job. Was that Yak 1? Were you at Yak 1?
When do we get the good views?
This is incredible right here. Just, you can see Tengboche down in the distance. That's where we started our day. In the clouds.
मायालु तिमी सँगै सँगै हेर्न मन लाग्छ त के गरौँ तिम्रै बाटो बाटो
The sights and sounds at 16,000 feet.
Monday, and we just did our 16,000 foot acclimatization hike all the way up to there. Had a little rest, had some snacks, and now we have to go all the way back down there. Quick addendum to my last message. The snack that we had up at 16,000 feet was Kirkland Signature trail mix, and it was delicious.
Go get them, guys. Let's go.
That way.
You got it. There it is. Our first view of Pumori.
We crossed the Khumbu River, created far up above by the massive Khumbu Glacier that forms on Mount Everest. We arrived in Thukla, had lunch, and got back on the trail, with Everest's giant neighbors now in sight. The climb from Thukla up to this point, called the Thukla Pass, was steep and very long. I had been dreading it for months.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, Tove. Where are you?
Up high.
We reached the top of the pass, where there is a field of monuments to scores of climbers and Sherpas who have perished in the region over the years. This includes the famous Scott Fisher, prominent in the book and movie Into Thin Air. At some of the monuments, friends, family, or countrymen gathered to pay their respects. Soon we were back on our way, climbing higher into the wind and cold. We arrived in Lobuche at 1:30 in the afternoon after 5.5 hours of climbing, thinking our day was nearly finished. That was not the case. For several reasons, we made the call to leave Lobuche and press on to Gorek Shep. While this turned out to be a great decision, it was an ambitious goal, adding an additional 4 hours of climbing and the crossing of a glacier to reach Gorek Shep at just under 17,000 feet.
Not in Kansas anymore.
There's a glacier.
At last, we stood above the magnificent Khumbu Glacier. And Kalapatar,
Okay.
our final destination, appears on the left. As the sun began to set, we began our climb down to cross the smaller Lobuche Glacier. At 5:30 p.m., 9.5 hours after we started, we arrived in Gorek Shep, also known as the end of the world. Kalapatar awaits us on the left in front of beautiful Pumori. The end of a long and spectacular day in the Himalayas. We decided to sleep in on Wednesday morning after our previous monster day. Because we skipped our night in Lobuche, we were back on schedule. Our plan was to trek to Everest Base Camp today and summit Kalapatar on Thursday. We received an urgent call that a helicopter had been arranged for us for Thursday at 6 a.m. If we had not decided to hike through Lobuche, and if we had not decided to sleep in and left normally for Everest Base Camp, we would never have reached our goal of climbing Kalapatar. As they say, it was meant to be.
What's that?
It's straight ahead. Nothing is. Unfortunately.
$18,519 feet.
Gee, thanks so much. Hello everyone from the top of Patthar. I wanted to take just a couple of minutes to recognize that this trek is dedicated to my foundation, PACH, and I want to thank and recognize all of the people at PACH, Sarah, all of our employees and volunteers. The purpose of this trek was to raise money for our permanent endowment fund, and we were very successful at doing that, and we've raised $21,000 to help to guarantee the future of our organization. And I want to thank all of the people that made contributions to that fund. I'm very grateful to all of you. I also want to recognize David Guacho, all of my partners at FIBOSPAM, all of the physicians, volunteers, and hardworking people that have made FIBOSPAM such a tremendous organization. Thank you all, and thank you again for all your support.